Alright, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Demon Slayer, Season 2, Episode 5. Konpachiro is facing the upper six demons.
Bananjiro, yes, will do his best. But, this is really bad. This
is real bad, and you better hope Nezuko doesn't stay in that box like you told her to, and goes and gets you help, because otherwise, I don't know how long your shonen protagonist energy will keep you safe. Because, yeah.
Or I hope you're willing to actually cry out for help because, you have someone that's a sound Hashira that we don't really know what his abilities are, but he's probably, like, the best person for this whole gig right now.
And he is a ninja, and he is badass, so I'm hoping that this is all going according to cake for Tengen, and he will show his skills at I want to use all the euphemisms that coming in from behind, all of that stuff, and yeah.
I can't wait. But yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So we got a lot of flashbacks.
We did.
We got ourselves the food locker of the demon that has been discovered by Inosuke, which was probably my highlight of the episode here.
Yes,
having
that was
a really silly
hilarious
moment where he
and fun.
dislocated his joints and then wiggled his way through the tunnel in order to get there.
Yep.
Breaking out the other two wives of Tengen, and thus setting up a quick, immediate way for them to all be reunited. And now we set out, and the actual, full story can commence here.
Exactly.
And the minor, just kind of suffering this episode and pacing-wise being the thing because of all the flashbacks and stuff, it felt like this would have been half an episode in terms of actual progression based on this being the one where they're like, flashy! And it's like, and then at the end of the episode, he's like, now things are going to get real flashy. And it's like,
I thought that was going to happen this episode.
I thought that was this episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and
sure.
I think I'm not talking with objective terms here. Personal detractor from me. I think the thing that really would have made me enjoy this episode a lot more is if I felt the stakes with Tanjiro's fight with the demon lady.
Yeah, I didn't feel any. No.
Because
he's being stupid and he's not getting punished for it.
He's being stupid and he's not getting punished for it.
Yep.
Except he's right. He's not getting punished for it, and I don't even really understand the reasons for why he's not getting punished for it. Why is this lady not just killing him immediately? She's all about being in secret anyways. She's in the middle of a public battle, and she is able to communicate with her other, sashes and stuff.
Yeah.
So she knows her food stores are being jeopardized or put in jeopardy. And the people that are in there also know that she's the demon, right? So, that's the worst timeline, and yet you're still bothering yourself with this kid when, by the way, you know that you don't necessarily know that there's a Hashira here, but this is a ploy to get a Hashira. So if a Hashira,
there's at least a few demon slayers here. Yeah.
Right. And if one of them is a Hashira like you were hoping, then you definitely don't want to be doing this.
Yeah.
So, okay, I like the idea of the flame technique having the negative the drawback on Tanjiro's body. That's a fun limitation and stuff. Go ahead. It's a nice giving context for why his dad was in that state. Cool. Like it.
I also kind of want to bring up the idea that he's not really tapping into the actual kind of version of what he did with the Hinokami Kagura back in episode 19, because that was something that wasn't necessarily tied to our Umai guy,
right?
Hashira.
That wasn't Rengoku.
That wasn't Rengoku's stuff.
No.
That was his father's stuff. So I feel like he's trying to do Rengoku's techniques right now when he actually should be more tapping into what his father did, and maybe he's just misapplying the energy and the breathing that was using there, and thus his temperature is spiking, and he's basically misapplying something that he doesn't have any real way to get a mentor on, because it's something from someone who's dead and gone.
Yep.
And it's also a dead technique as well.
And even when you used it against Rui, with Nezuko's help, by the way, it still wasn't enough. And I don't remember what Rui's ranking was, but I believe it was less than what she's at.
Oh, it was lower.
Yeah.
So, it was lower, yeah.
So, and she was laughing at your technique. So, like, I understand Tanjiro being like,
I'll play defensive and buy time.
Yeah, play defensive and buy time, except he's not doing that. And the thing is I get from a story standpoint why he's not doing that, because that's not cool for your shonen protagonist to be running away, doing whatever, right? But the thing is that he doesn't have to fight her here. She's not even really trying to fight him.
She's not even trying to attack the girl that's lying on the ground there.
Like I loved the encounter underground. I thought that was awesome. I thought that was also and Tanjiro,
things made sense because of all the people that were in the threads there. So it's not just once you slice, you have to slice in the right spot so you don't hurt them. And then but once you get them out, now they're even more of a problem because you have to protect them now.
And that's a wonderful showing of how they're starting to step into Rengoku's path of where he wasn't just trying to fight the demons. He also made it so that not a single human other than himself died on that whole mission, right? So now they have to grapple with that kind of a deal. And I feel like Inosuke had a great showcasing of him needing to do that, and then he was helped by other people. Great.
Otherwise, he would have been screwed. Tanjiro didn't have that. And with Inosuke, because it's also like this separate entity kind of from the demon, it makes sense that it wouldn't necessarily be as threatening because it's not her full focus, all of that stuff, right? Whereas with Tanjiro, I don't really get it. And that kind of just like the cool aspects to me of this setup is that she seemed so lethal. She only fights in the fights where she has the advantage, and she does her thing, and then it's over. Even the thing of the not killing all the people immediately makes sense because she's saving her food supply, you know, not gorging herself all the time, you know, eating when she needs it. Awesome. Yeah.
But,
Yeah. It's just unfortunate because of how cool and zany Demon Slayer can be when it lets its characters kind of goofy powers go off and just have fun with it.
Like dislocating all your bones to go through a tunnel and having rats that bring swords.
And then also just the fatal flaw that this demon had because she knocked out Zenitsu. And yes, the mice, muscle, were the only ones actually capable of, plot-wise, bringing his sword over to this location. Because yes, there is no reason why he should have his sword here. So we have silly thing that is the reason why he has his sword here. Don't try and pretend that it's not a plot hole. No, it's just a silly fun thing that makes it all work out.
It's not a bug. It's a feature.
It's a feature. That's exactly
part of the charm.
Right.
And the fight with Tanjiro is being
taken too seriously.
Taken super seriously, but I am not able to match that energy. Because of the things that have been set up. If it was something where like, I mean, yes, there's a person there that he needs.
Honestly, this is where, in another case, I'm going to keep ribbing this show for how it's dramatically underutilizing its other sibling character here. Because if Nezuko was out here, that could give a focus for the demon to be like, wait, you have a demon with you?
Right.
Wait a minute. And then that could create some conversation.
That is also, not only could it create conversation, that is an excellent way to be able to have stakes that, can be leaned on, if you will. Because Nezuko, it is capable for her to regenerate. Now, without a food source, that gets a bit more complicated.
Right.
But that's something where you could
that creates problems down the line. That's something where you can have something where the demon is actively going for kill shots and all of that stuff, maybe, but Nezuko is still surviving, even if it's torturous and she's getting ripped apart, maybe. But, you know, like, you can... You can work more with that. So on the wives side of things, we've now met all three of them. We now see that their personalities are very different, and I like that is the case. They have shticks that they're starting with here. I love how Suma seems to be the alpha, the Giga Chad energy to match Tengen's Giga Chad energy. But also the idea that the other one, who was more recently captured, the last one to be captured, probably because she's the most adept, probably the most skilled, has shown that she was willing to poison herself to be an excuse as to why she would then leave the house because she's not well or what have you.
Right.
But that also the demon can separate aspects of the cloth and put it around them like a belt in this case that could then be a spy to where her senses extend beyond. So this is just another example of where tentacle powers are always OP.
Yeah. The one limitation of tentacle powers usually is that you're still connected to the thing that has the tentacles. But no.
Not in this case.
Not in this case.
No, it's even more busted.
Yep.
So, all right. That's how her powers work. I love that they're utilizing these little mini encounters to give exposition of the mechanics of how her abilities work.
Yep.
I love then in this case here that even while the things are being severed and stuff like that, the blood is not necessarily just the blood of this creature, but that's the other thing. It could be another entity, like you were saying earlier, because the demon communicated with
it had a separate will.
There was like a telepathic link of sorts.
Like I understand the idea of it being like a separate thing, and then it's like, okay, her own little like worm thing that she can control or whatever.
Right.
But the fact that she had to actually speak to it and give it orders,
meaning it could reject potentially the orders.
Like okay, maybe
it's not like saying arm move, it's
like if it's just something where she doesn't have like telepathic communication, okay, that's a fun limitation, but it did seem to behave differently. Right. So that's very interesting. I would love to see that explored
more. It's very interesting because I think what they're setting up here is that a demon is within the ribbons, is within it.
Sure.
And it is controlling the ribbons basically, and that allows her to basically sleep, to go and just have her own life or what have you, to where she doesn't need to be constantly aware of everything.
Right. And that is a wonderful way that you can have the benefits of the enemy also having pawns essentially that our protagonist can fight against without it being like, binary 0 or 1. You're either fighting the big bad of the arc or you're fighting nobody,
Yeah, I agree. I think that the OP also sets up a character that Tengen seems to fight that has very like curly matted kind of monstrous appearance that is definitely not the Oiran.
Gotcha.
You didn't see that in the OP?
I must have missed it.
Okay, they've been showing the OP like multiple times now. There's a very clearly like another fighter that Tengen seems to fight like throughout the OP.
Okay, I'll have to go back and look.
Very clearly not the Oiran. So
gotcha.
I think that could end up being the demon that's controlling the ribbons, and as they slash it all up, it will have to keep moving to avoid being isolated and then not being able to control the rest of it. But the wives bringing up the idea of death and the value of it, and then their own lives, and that brings in something that could be kind of interesting if it's explored a little more. The idea that Tengen basically says, no, I value your lives more, so therefore you don't have to worry about sacrificing your lives to do your job or what have you, because I'm going to worry about your lives now. So
yeah, exactly.
And they're like, but wait, will we not be able to like perform as well? And
right.
Like, no,
we're ninjas. We're supposed to be like, comfortable with doing that. And it's like,
no. Now we're all together. We're a unit.
And it wasn't even something of I'll be the first line of defense.
Right.
It was no. If you have to choose, civilians, they come after you. And that's something that I really like that's being brought up because the hey, I'll take the first hit, that feels a lot more straightforward and less like, like out there potentially because they're married and all that, right?
Yeah.
But when it's the no, even when it comes to doing your job, if you
as
die,
a mentor,
like if you die, you can't do your job anymore, right? So like you absolutely do need to take care of yourself because, then that's one less person who can help people down the road.
Right. It's also showing the emotional side of things with Tengen in that he's obviously been at multiple roles in their lives specifically, but the point where, oh, no, I will worry about civilians. If you can't, protect civilians without getting yourself killed, then you have to survive. You have to let them die basically,
right?
And you go and survive.
And that's one of the things that I feel like is a very realistic thing that can be tough to look at in stories, because we love to see the stories of like the Rengoku where, you know, he dies but not a single other person dies, and it's like, okay, that's awesome, right? But
what if like 6 people had died but Rengoku lived?
Right. Does that mean he could save another train and you know, like down the line, like,
who knows?
Rengoku's gone. They don't just have another Hashira.
Yeah, we can't go back and change that. That's just the way it is. He made his choice, and we absolutely respect him for making his choice.
Yeah, that was a decision that he made, and so that's his decision. But that doesn't mean you need to make that decision.
And in some ways, they brought up the idea that because they're shinobi, they're a little bit more treated as disposable, as basically that, oh no, you go do the mission. You go kill somebody,
and if you
don't do your infiltration thing successfully, well, then you just die.
Right? You
bite down on
the
a
pill,
poison,
you know, or
and
something.
Exactly. Yeah,
you know,
you poison
something
yourself
like
and you
that,
die,
and it's just there you go. Right.
Right, and that makes sense. But he's basically coming along and saying, "No, fuck that.
Right.
You're live. You matter to me. So
you're not just ninjas anymore. We are a family.
We are a family.
And so it's not just protecting yourself for your own sake, but also for the sake of everyone else.
Yes.
Right?
And I really respect the way that's going, because that sets up a way in which Tanjiro can learn, hey, buddy, you matter beyond not just dying to protect people, but Nezuko needs you alive. That's why Nezuko is being tragically underutilized right here, is because that dynamic could be being explored right now.
Exactly.
But it's not.
Right. It's the thing of that could retroactively make me be like, oh yeah, okay, they were actively doing something with a lot of the past scenes and stuff, but we don't have that yet, so we don't necessarily know if it's going to go that way, and that would be kind of like a subversion of a lot of the like things that people would assume and expect about like shonen protagonists, I would say.
Yeah, to basically have the Spider-Man moment where it's okay, you have 3 people you can protect here. You can protect the civilian, you can protect yourself, or you can protect Nezuko.
Right.
That's basically the situation.
What do you do?
That Tengen basically said, I made the decision before any of that stuff happens, so you know exactly what I'm going to do.
Exactly.
I'm going to protect you first, and then I'm going to protect civilians, and then I'm going to protect myself.
Right.
That's the order.
Hell.
And then you guys also respect that as well, which means you start by protecting yourself. And then if you're okay, if and only if, then you can go after civilians to protect them.
Something that I would love to see in this story that I don't think will happen, because it was kind of it wasn't a great decision in my mind from Tanjiro, but it's done in such a way that I don't think it's going to be punished. But because she can split off her ribbons and stuff, Nezuko stays in the box, like he told her. And then she shows up later, and there's an image of a box in her ribbons.
Could be.
You know?
Could be.
And it's just, there you go.
Yeah,
right?
I would love to see Tanjiro have a moment where Nezuko is genuinely threatened, and that causes him to, have that shonen classic moment where he unlocks basically the understanding of the move.
Right,
because trying to figure out now, it's in his family.
Exactly. And if it's something that came about as a result of him not trusting Nezuko, bringing her into the fold on things, whatever, then I think that just makes it even juicier.
Yeah.
But
either way, here we go.
Yep.
And let's get flashy in the next episode. So, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.